other thing is talking about seller's credits, or seller concession. And buyers don't really understand that. I'm trying to encourage some buyers now to ask for it, especially when there's, not as much competition on places, and it's a stretch for them to get the 20% down, and they can't then come up also with the closing costs. So I'm encouraging them to not empty their bank accounts and say, hey, let's pay a little bit more and get a seller's credit, so that you don't have to come out of pocket for the 20% plus all of your closing costs. Can you explain, the pros and cons of the seller concession?
Yeah, so there's kind of there's a seller's concession and there's the seller's credit. So seller's concession is kind of this, I hate saying it's a concession, because in essence, the buyer is financing their mortgage costs. So as a seller, your purchase price is, let's say, $500,000, and the buyer needs $20,000 for their closing costs. They're going to increase the price by $20,000, so it's $520,000, and it includes a concession of $20,000. As a seller, you're still getting your $500,000, but the buyer is able to get a higher mortgage because now their percentage is based on $520,000 versus $500,000. Now it does have to appraise for that amount, and banks only allow a concession up to a certain amount, and it can only be applied to your closing costs. So there's a bunch of other kind of like things to take into consideration that you're not going above that. When there's also credits that if there's a repair credit, you're really giving them a credit, so they're not increasing the amount over that. Sorry, I have my little baby today. So that's kind of the two. And with the concession as a seller, the main concern is whether it's going to appraise with that concession. Because once again, in order for them to finance that, if they truly need that money to get the financing, get their mortgage or get the funds for their closing, whether it's going to appraise with that concession. As a credit, there's repair credits that you can give. If you don't want to fix an item, say, hey, there's, the stove, the boiler is about to, they do their inspection and the boiler is about to, in this last couple of years, we'll give you a $2,000 credit at closing. On the contract, it may say a closing cost credit, but really it's for a repair. That's not considered a concession. That's just a straight credit.
Just a straight credit.